Hello everyone and welcome you all to another chapter of the JavaScript beginners tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 10 where we will be learning about operators. Okay, so over here we will be learning about using different kind of operators inside JavaScript. So let's not waste much time and let's get started. So over here, as you guys can see, again, I am here in my JavaScript file in which we guys were working before. And from here, now let's come down and we're gonna learn about different kind of operators. Okay, so let me just comment this out and let me just type operators. And let's come down over here and we're gonna start learning different kind of operators. So over here, you guys can see I do have just commented out each and everything like over here, mainly this console.log, because when I check my console over here, I want it to be empty and whatever arithmetic operations or whatever operator I show you guys, I want you guys to see that only. So the first kind of operators which we're gonna see is basically an arithmetic operator. Okay, so let's come here and let's type arithmetic operators. Okay, so what are basically the arithmetic operators? Okay, so arithmetic operators are like, let's say I do have two numbers and I do want to use the plus sign, minus, and if I do want to use the division or multiplication, I can do that. Let's say over here, I will just put out the values. Okay, so for that, now let's come over here and let's use A. Okay, so I'll just come here. A is equals to 2 and B, or let's come here, A is equals to 60, let's say, and B is equal to 3. Okay, so if you just come over here and now if I just click on enter and let's type console.log and let's be open parenthesis, and over here I want to type like this is the value, or I will just type the value of A plus, let's go with plus B is, and after writing is, let me just put this one inside the quotation. Okay, so let's come here, let me just put these things inside the double quote and let me just give it up a space. The value of A plus B is A. Then I will just come here, I will just give it up a space. Let's put my operator A plus B. Okay, so as you guys can see, now I'm telling that the value of A plus B is A plus B over here. Okay, so if I do want to show this one, let's come here. Let me just put out a comma. Okay, so let's come here. Let's just put out a comma. Control S to save it. Let's come over here and you guys can see that now in my console I do have that the value of A plus B is 63. Okay, because 60 plus 3 is equals to 63. So the same way you guys can just copy this thing out. Let's say Control C to copy. Let's come down. Let's click on Control V. Control V. Let's come down, Control V over here. So instead of plus, you guys can just use these other operations as well. Let's put minus over here. let's put out asterisk for multiplication, and let's put hash for division as well. Okay, so the same way I will come here, I will just put the slash, then I will just change this one to asterisk, and I will just change this one to a minus sign over here. And now if I just save this one and if you just run this, you guys can see I do have plus, minus, multiplication, and over here I do have the division as well. Okay, so I hope this one was clear for you about the arithmetic operators. So now let's go to my VS Code over here. So we do have learned about the arithmetic operators over here. So the next kind of operator about which we're gonna learn over here is basically about the comparison operators. Okay, so let me just comparative operators. Okay, so let's come here, let's type comparative operators. And let's click on enter. Let's come down. And over here, as you guys can see, now at this particular point, I want to comment this whole thing out as well. Okay, it's because I don't want to confuse you guys with so many of these things inside my console. Let's click on control and I will just comment this whole thing out. So comparative operators, let's click on enter. And over here, now I will just put some value. Let's say I will just type var and let me just use the variable AB. Okay. And over here I will just put equals to, and now let's say I will just put the value 22 and let's type var. Let's type BA equal to 20. Okay. So over here, let's click on enter and let me just type console.log. Let's open parenthesis. And over here now, if I just tell that AB is equal to, okay. So over here, if I want to compare between two objects, okay. So for that, what I can do is I can come here and I need to use the double equals to sign. And let's say I do want to tell that BA. Okay, so over here I do have this particular statement. Now let's come here, let's control C and let's come down. Let's click on control V again. And let me just put control V. Let's come over here, control. Let's take this whole thing, control C. Then let's come right over here. Let's put control V and again control V right over here. So as you guys can see now, I do have double equal to, and the next value which I can put inside this comparison or comparative operators is that I can tell that AB is greater than or equal to. Okay, so I can just use those particular options as well. So let me just put greater than and equal to, and also over here you guys can use like less than and equal to. Like you guys can come here and you guys can use less than equal to, and also you guys can just use less than. Okay, so let's come over here and from here let's only use the less than, and over here let me just use the greater than sign. Okay, so as you guys can see over here, you guys can see the value of AB is 22 and the value of BA is 20. So over here all the answers inside these comparative operators will be given to me in form of a Boolean value. Okay, so we do have already learned that what a Boolean value is. Okay, so we do have understood that a Boolean value is true and false. Okay, so if I come here and now if I just check out my console, okay, so let's come right over here. Let's refresh this thing down and let's come down right over here. Control S to save it. Okay, so let's come here, Control S, and here you guys can see that the first statement is false. Okay, and why it's false? Because here I'm saying that, well, AB is equal to B. But here you guys can see both the values are different. So the first value is 22 and the second value is 20. But afterwards, I can see that the AB value is 22. Okay, so over here it says that AB is greater than or equal to BA. Okay, so this particular statement is true. And here you guys can see this statement is true over here. And all of this underneath are accordingly the correct statement. Okay, so here you guys can see this is about the comparative operators. So now the next operators we're gonna learn is about the assignment operators. Okay, so over here we were comparing between these numbers. Okay, so you guys can do it in case of strings as well. Okay, but now let's try to see about the assignment operators. Okay, so for assignment operators, if I come here and let me just create a var. Okay, so over here I will just create a variable, and if I just come here and if I tell my variable is that now I will have a variable known as C. Okay, so if I tell, as you guys can see already, I do have these two variables over here. And if I mention that, well, C is equal to AB. Okay, so you guys can see already over here on top, you guys will be able to see the value of AB is 22. So over here under the assignment operators also, I'm telling that, well, the value of C is equal to AB. Okay, so for that, if I do want to come here and now if I just come down, let's click on enter. And over here, if I just type console.log and if I just type C, okay, and let's click on Control S to save it. Here you guys can see now I do have 22 over here because I have defined that, well, the value of C is equal to AB. So, well, if I just change the variable over here, let's go with 21 and Control S to save it. Let's come over here. You guys can see in the live server, the value of C have also been updated. Okay, so this is how it works. So now let's assign different objects to this. So if I come right over here and if I mention, let's say like console.log, and over here, let me just type that C. So I will come here as C over here and I will just tell that, well, so over here, I want to say that as the value of C is equal to AB, for C, what I want to do is first, I want to put out a value. Let's say C plus, okay, let's put plus equal to 1. Okay, so as you guys can see, now over here, I'm telling that the value of C is equal to AB. So the value of AB is 21. But now here I have also written that over here that C, the value of C is being updated here in the second line as it says that C is going to plus 1 with it. So if I do want to type it, so this is how it will come out. Let's come here and the full statement is C equal to C plus 1. Okay, so this is the statement. So in shortcut, I do have written it quite like this. Okay, so you guys can come here Control S to save it. As you guys can see, the value of AB is 21. The answer should come to 22. Okay, so over here, you guys can see the answer is 22 right over here. Okay, so the same way you guys can just put out some different values. Let's say, okay, let's come here and from here now let's copy this one. Okay, so let's just select and let's type control, or let's just select all of this thing, control C, control V, control V over here, control V over here as well, and let me just put minus, let me put out an asterisk, and over here let me just put out division. Okay, so over here instead of putting 1, let me come here and let me just put the number 3. Okay, so let's just put number 3 over here, and also I will just put number 3 over here as well. Let me just delete this particular comment which I had. Control S to save it, and if you just go to this particular console, okay, you guys will be able to check this one out. Okay, so let's come here, let's save this one, and here you guys can just print all of this thing down individually. Okay, so let's come here, and now if you do want to refresh this particular page, okay, you guys can see it's showing you only the first value. Okay, but over here if you just come here and let's say I want to comment down, okay, so like let's say I want to come here, I want to comment down all of these three things, you guys will be able to see that it is getting divided by the number. So if you just come over here, now let's just refresh and let's just save this one. Control S to save it. Let's come over here. So from here, I need to make sure that I just come here and I just turn off. And here you guys can see now I do have the value of 7. Okay, so 3 divided. And now over here, if you do want to do it for all of this, you guys will be able to do for all of this as well. Okay, so this is how it actually works. Let me just comment this down for you. Let's come right over here and let me just turn off this one for you as well. So we do have learned about 3 type of operators: the arithmetic operators, the comparative operators, and the assignment operators. So the next type of operators using which we're gonna learn is known as logical operators. Okay, so let me just type logical operators and let's come down, and over here let's try to understand that what a logical operator is. Okay, so if you just come down right over here and let's go with console dot log, let's open this one, and over here let's try to put on different kind of values. Okay, so let me just put out Boolean values over here, and under these logical operators as well, we do have 3 different type of operators. Okay, so first we gonna learn about AND. Okay, so we are going to learn AND here inside the logical operator. So let me just mark this one as well. Okay, so I will just type AND, and what it does is basically, let's come here, and here for to mark the AND operator, you just need to use this double sign of AND. So if I just type true, let's come here, let me just type true over here, and now let me just copy this thing. Okay, so control C, let's come down, control V, let's come down, control V, Let's click on enter and control V over here as well. Okay, so first I do have true, true, and let's make this second statement as false. Let's make the first statement as false, and let's come here and let's make both the statement as false. Okay, so now let's try to understand this one. So a logical operator basically are this one which is inside. So this is an AND operator. So here you guys can see the first one is true, true. So the ultimate value of this one is going to be true. So in this particular sense, we need to understand inside the log, it will judge that, well, the first statement is true and the second condition is true as well. So the whole answer will be true. But if you see that here, I do have one true and one false. So in that case, what it will do is that the ultimate answer, which it will show me is false because one statement is false. Inside the AND operator, it both have to be the same Boolean value. Okay. So for this one also, it will show me false. And lastly, as both the statement are false, it will show me false as the answer. Okay, so if you just come over here, let's click on Control S, let's come down, and here now let's come and let's see where the problem is. So now over here, let's refresh this page again. And here you guys can see the same way the first value is true and all of the values which follows are false. Okay, so this is how AND operator works inside the logical operators. And the next thing we're gonna learn is about the OR operator. Okay, so I will just name this one as OR. And the same way, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna take this thing, Control C, and let's click on Control V to paste it. So as you guys can see now, I do have the OR operator, but as you guys can see for AND, we do have used this sign, but for OR, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we use this. So we're gonna use this double straight line. Okay, so for that, let's cancel this one. Let's come here, and from here, let's use both of this, and let's come here. Let's use it here again. So let's come here. I will just put out the same. Let's come here. Let's put this out again. So let me just select all of this, Control hash to just comment out everything. So over here, if you just take up a look here now, instead of AND operator, I do have used the OR operator. And to show the OR operator, this is the value or the sign symbol which is being used. So from here now, it is exactly the opposite of the AND operator. Okay. So in AND operator, both the values needed to be true or both the values needed to be false to show the result. But over here, if any of the statement is true, it will show you true. If any of the statement, like if any of the statement out of this is true, it will show you the true value. Unless both the values are false, only that time it will show you false. So the first three things over here, it will show you true. Okay, let's come here and let's just comment this down as true as well. And here now, if I just run this one, let's go to my live server. Here you guys can see the first three statement is true and the last statement is false because only in the last statement I do have both the values or both the operators as false. Okay, so let's come here and now we're gonna learn about the third type of logical operator, which is the NOT operator. Okay, so inside the NOT operator, if I just come here let's say Control C to copy. Let's come here, Control V. And now what I'm gonna do is, let's say I want to define this one. Well, I want to say that this is a false statement. So for that, let's come here. Let me just delete this one. So here you will be able to see that the first statement where I do have written that not true. Okay, so this one basically means that this is not true. So I do have used this single line. So it means that this is not true. So here the first one's answer in the console is going to be false, and the second one answer in the console is going to be true. So just the opposite. Okay, so over here, let me just comment out this console as well over here. And now if I just show you guys by saving this up, here you guys will be able to see the change. Let's come over here. And again, let's go to my VS Code. So let me just go to my VS Code again, and let me just type it down manually. Let's come here, and if I just type false, okay, otherwise let's type true. So now for not, I need to use this exclamation sign at first. Okay, so let me just put the exclamation sign, and here this is the not statement. Okay, so this exclamation mark is not operator. This double straight lines are the OR operators, and this double AND sign are known as the AND operator inside this logical operator. So let me just click on Control S, and if you see here, you guys can see the first statement is false and the second statement is true, as I do have mentioned is not true and not false. So it's just the vice versa, as you guys can see in the comment, I do have mentioned that as well. So yeah, I hope this class was clear on operators. So I hope to see you all in another chapter in JavaScript where we're gonna learn more about it. So see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye everyone.